Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective on this Friday, August 7th. We are letting everybody load into the Zoom app, so please hang tight and we'll get started in one moment. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective for this Friday, August 7th. I am Robert Theobald, the Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services for the Arizona Commerce Authority. We're excited to have you here today for another session of the bootcamp. I want to start by thanking all our community partners. We could not do these bootcamp sessions without them. This is just a small sampling of the 70+ community partners that have helped with the bootcamp series over the past few months. The Small Business Bootcamp is a program designed to help small businesses work through the COVID crisis and return stronger than ever. It is a statewide initiative supported by our community partners, and the bootcamp is going to run through August, actually through the first couple of days of September, just the way the calendar falls, but we've got great sessions lined up throughout August. Excuse me. The boot camps were Monday through Friday, starting at the beginning of May, and all those sessions through the end of July are on our website. They have been recorded, and we continue to record all of them, so you can go back and watch them if you miss one. In August, we changed our cadence. Instead of doing them daily, we are doing the boot camps on Tuesdays and Fridays with a couple special sessions intermixed in those weeks. So for example, this Monday, we're having a special PPP session, and Monday, August 24th as well, we are having a PPP session. So those will be special sessions from the normal cadence of Thursday and Friday with our content. You can find the resources that we mentioned and we link to on our resource collective as part of our website, our Small Business Bootcamp website. It's a great way to find all the different resources available. We even list some of the grants that are available for the different communities. There are a number of communities out there that have grant programs available for small businesses with funding. If you're in the city of Phoenix, for example, there are still funds available in their small business grant program, so you can find that information either on our resource collective page or on their website for the city of Phoenix. So next week's sessions are maximizing your paycheck protection program loan forgiveness. And then Tuesday, we have the basics of starting a business. If you're looking at starting a business, starting a side gig, branching out on your own, it's a great session. That is part one of a 3-part series that we're doing throughout August. And then Friday is upping your marketing game. We've got some new material on marketing. We've done a number of marketing sessions over the months, but marketing is extremely important for small businesses during this time, and so we've got some additional materials there. It's going to be a great session. So please tune in for those. You can find the registration links for those on our bootcamp website. Just some quick updates. PPP is still active, but you only have today and tomorrow for the banks to get the application process. So if you are still looking to get a PPP loan and you are not working with any lender yet, or if you are working with a lender, please follow up, because that window that the lenders have to get your application into the SBA system is closing quickly in order to get a loan. It closes tomorrow at midnight Eastern time. So not midnight Arizona time. So be aware of that, that you need to make sure that you don't procrastinate and miss that deadline. Additionally, we have some small business programs that are available through the ACA. Our ACA Small Business Services can help in navigating with the SBA, with the Small Business Development Centers, SCORE, local banking contacts, etc. Our Workforce Division can help work with businesses looking to hire people or looking to train or upskill their employees. And our Manufacturing Extension Partnership works with all levels of manufacturers to help them reach their goals. Additionally, we want to just put in a quick mention for the state's information resource page for COVID-19, arizonatogether.org. And a quick reminder of the guides and resources we have on our resource collective. We have these different guides that are available for your business to help work through the COVID challenges. So you can stay informed with all things business related and COVID related on our Arizona Business Resources page on the azcommerce.com website. You can find there's a big banner across the homepage that links to it, or you can go to azcommerce.com/COVID-19. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Steve Englehart from SCORE. He's the SCORE Phoenix chapter president, and Andre Jones for our presentation today. They're great partners of ours. And so, Steve, I'm going to turn the time over to you.
Andre, do you want to bring your screen up and start with your introduction?
Hello and good morning. This is Andre Jones, CEO of Octavia Social Media Strategies. Hope all of you are doing very well today and taking great care of yourself. This is session number 67, Enriching Your Customers and Employees Relationship. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. I am here to empower you powerfully to be able to not only attract your past customers, but also really engage with your current as well as your future customers, as well as keep that team together and have them with you for the life of your business. Steve, you want to do your introduction first, or you want me to keep going and then introduce?
Yep. So, as Robert said, I'm Steve Englehart with SCORE. SCORE is a resource partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration. We mentor small businesses for free, and we'll stick with you as long as you want us to. We've got a mentor that has had a client in town for 27 years. My oldest client has been with me for 8 years. So we'll stick with you all you want. In addition to the mentoring, SCORE does about 150 webinars a year. So here in Phoenix, we're doing about 100 face-to-face, but with COVID, we've had to back off. We're now doing by webinar. So there are national webinars and there are local webinars. So there's a massive amount of education out there for you. So we have a lot of resources. We have resources on our websites and other places. Score.org is a mass of information on business. So I'm going to shut up real quick because we've got a 10 o'clock hard start, and take it away, Andre.
You got it. So this real quick, we're doing a Surviving the Pandemic series, what you could do now to prevent your business from becoming statistic. That's session 4, the last of the 4-session webinar series will be happening this coming Wednesday, August 12th, starting at 5 p.m. It's sponsored through the Hive, Fargo, and SCORE, and presented by yours truly. And we'll talk about what you do when you have a virtual business and how you can expand it online and run it as smooth as possible and allow you to have time to truly enjoy your life as well. Again, my name is Andre Jones. I'm down here in Tucson, Arizona, where it's a little bit hotter than, or a little bit cooler than it is in Phoenix and other areas. I'm the CEO of Octavia Social Media Strategies, which was an organization that was created in response to the growth of digital marketing as well as digital strategy. We're a full design and development firm that it creates content marketing. We do social media marketing as well as video production, and combined with storytelling to help you be seen, be known, and be the expert in your field. This will be an interactive webinar. I'll have folks raise their hands, and also we'll be creating something pretty magical together. I believe since this is being broadcast, I'm not going to see your hands being raised. However, as I ask questions, just take time to think about them, and then I'll give you the answers right after that. So let's go ahead and let's jump right on in. Let's enrich the customers and employee relationships. And here's the thing to consider. Consider that the relationship that you had prior to COVID-19 and the pandemic that is COVID-19 has not changed. The relationship you created was the relationship that you created. What a lot of business owners are facing right now is the after effect of those said relationships. How you have treated your customers, whether good or bad. How you have honored your employees, good or bad. How you rewarded or not rewarded your contractors and subcontractors will affect how all these people come back to you, the business owner. Despite many people needing a job, a lot of customers, employees, and contractors, as well as subcontractors, will only find the businesses that have and will truly value them as a human being, and those will be the ones that they go back to. Now, as we figure out if we're open or closed, because we're going back and forth from the open and closed, it is important for the business owner to enter into a new relationship with your employees, subcontractors, contractors, and your customers. And let's do this. Let's combine and put together employees, contractors, and subcontractors, and let's call them your team. This new relationship gives the customer and your team the ability to grow on their own and become inspired to take on what they want to take on. This in the end will actually free up more time for the business owner to do other things, as when the team feels that they are important and valuable to the business, they take on more tasks and willing to give back more to the company. Still, we are all human beings. Please remember that. We are all human beings, and we want to be recognized for our efforts. And it's a great idea for the business owner to make sure to reward their customers as well as their team the way they like to be rewarded. Because here's the thing, what works for you may not work for your customers or your team. And therefore, this requires you to become a little bit more consistently curious about both of them. And the goal of the new business owner, the goal of this new business owner stepping into this brave new world to learn more about their customers and about their team, is they are always exploring their own story, as well as allowing their team the room, their team as well as their customers, to also explore their own story. We all have a story going on, and we all have many problems happening in our lives. However, sometimes it just has one really big plot. There's one really big obstacle that's in the way in their life. And sometimes it has nothing to do with money. Money does not equal the solution to the problem. And just because you hand someone a paycheck doesn't mean you have solved their true problem. It is our goal as business owners who want to keep the best of the best is to remember that the wonderful people that you hired are human beings too. And it is a great idea, especially now more than ever, to be curious about them. I cannot tell you how many times this philosophy has allowed Octavia to minimize the turnover rate, the firing rate, or releasing rate. There's a joke that you actually just don't leave Octavia. You don't leave. You're here. You enjoy it. You're valued. You're heard. You're understood. And that is what we do here. When we are able to treat our people as human beings and our customers and employees and allow them to really allow us to help them, it makes an amazing relationship. Let me say that again in a different way. When we are able to treat our team as well as our customers as human beings and allow them the permission to allow us to help them. It's that right there is what creates an amazing relationship. When I tell my team and I look them straight in the eye, the words, "I got you," they know that I got them. They're up, they're down, they're left, they're right, they're front, they're back, they're diagonals, whatever it is, and whatever situation it is, I got them. Try it on your folks. Try it on your people. Just look them in the eye when you have a chance and say, "I got you," and see what their response is. And that is a scale of how well you're doing in that area. Yes, Steve?
So my job is to provide a little color with some of this. Years ago, I had a customer in North Carolina who was a coal mine. They had tremendous workers' comp problems, like any coal mine does. And they hired a workers' comp specialist. And he came in and put in more safety measures, more procedures, more training. Those things reduced the workers' comp costs. But where it really hit him is something else he did. Typically, when somebody gets hurt in a company, you tend to take them from the job site to the hospital, then they go home to recovery. That whole time, typically, companies quit communicating with them. What he used to do is the day the person came home from the hospital, he would show up to their house with a week's groceries. The whole time they were disabled and at home, he would buy the family's groceries. The lawsuits from employees against the company dropped dramatically because of that. Thank you.
Perfect segue. So if you say, "I don't have time," for example, "I don't have time to go and buy groceries for the people who are hurt on my job," consider that that is a small little white lie that you're telling yourself, because the truth is it's either you don't want to, nor do you feel like it. We make time for our friends and our family, for that what is important to us. We must make time for our team as well as our customers, especially for our team. One thing to remember is that our customers and our team are just as scared about walking into the brave new world that's on the other side of the COVID-19 virus as we are. And as we explore and as we reimagine our business, our goal is to tie in all of this into our mission, purpose, and ongoing goal. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. One of the key things to remember is that you're not the hero of the story. You're not the hero. Your customer is the hero of the story. We, as the business owner, are the guides, and we're also the guide to our team. And ironically, our team is a guide for us. This is how, remembering this, how to keep your customers as well as your team happy for as long as you run your business. Understanding that you're not the center of attention, you're not the hero of the story, that they are. That is super, super important to know. And to learn what really makes them tick, and also as well as really see what matters to them and what that problem is and where they're trying to go with their life is super important. I'll tell you a story in story form. Years and years and years ago, while I was in between figuring out what I was going to do, is pretty much right before Octavia was opened up. I was actually sitting and I was working in a doctor's office focusing on their marketing. Their online marketing and IT was basically my job. However, I was trying to figure out what my next step was, and I couldn't figure it out. So finally, I got to talk to my boss, and I told her what my next steps were. I was thinking, at least. She came in months later out of nowhere and sat me down and said, you are great at digital marketing. You're great at IT. And now it's time for you to begin to look on creating something for yourself. So I want to send you back to school, and you have to interview schools to go back to. and pick a school, do your financial aid, present me with a schedule before the end of July, because this was in May. And then at that point, we'll talk about what your next steps are. If you fail, if you don't do that, fail as in you don't do the actions of doing what I'm asking you to do, you're fired. So in order to keep my job, I had to figure out what my next steps were and what they were going to be. And when I figured out what my next steps were, and I did my classes and I got scheduled and I showed her, she said, when does school start? And I said, August 25th, it's a Monday. She said, great, that Friday before, you will be terminated and we will become your client. And on top of that, we're going to give you a bonus so that way you can go back to school without that worry of what you're going to do financially. Without that, Octavia would not exist today. If it wasn't for her taking interest in me and what was important to me and what my goals were, I would not be sitting here doing a webinar on a topic that I love and doing what I love. That is what I mean by really enriching the relationship with your team. Any questions? If you have questions, just put them in a Q&A and I will answer them as I'm going through. So now let's go ahead and let's talk about your customers and how to create a new relationship with your customers. Consider that your former, present, and future customers have a new awareness that wasn't present before COVID-19. And that new awareness is now more than ever their health and wellness. And many companies are addressing this issue right now by remodeling and figuring out new ways for customers to use their product or service or have their food, and if you're a restaurant. The goal is to reward your customers for waiting for you. If you have to close, and reopen again. If you close, reward them for waiting for you to reopen. If you reopened, reward those who waited for you that closed a long time ago. They're actually all expecting it. So these are the questions that you will answer. How will you reward your customers' loyalty? How will you protect their long-term health and well-being? Notice I said long-term, not just the COVID-19. What new policies are you putting in place and how are you going to make them feel special? And consider that the experience starts long before they come and see you. It actually starts in the inquiry of their own problem. The customer experience doesn't always start when they walk in. It begins when they learn about their business and how it will meet their needs. And when they see a review on Yelp, or radio advertisement, TV spot, website ad, or Facebook or Instagram ad. The customer journey, however, when it talks about digital marketing, looks a lot different. It used to follow this order: interest, search, a Google search, website inquiry, social media, and reviews. This is what it looked like prior to COVID-19. Now that we have more time and people are doing more diligence in their research, the journey differs from person to person as well as problem to problem. As well as allows them to give a say and allows them to go, I want to give them a try based upon what I've seen thus far, that they're going to keep me safe. Mind you, most people are looking up your business from their mobile phone. They're totally looking up from a mobile phone. So the question I have, is your website mobile friendly? And if not, you're throwing away tons and tons of money. Let's do an example of what I mean by the customer journey. Let's say Jake and Jane are at a dinner date together. And let's say Jake did his amazing boyfriend skills to figure out exactly what direction he was going to direct his girlfriend, because of the fact he knows that if he asks Jane, what would you like to have for dinner? She's going to say, I don't know. What do you want? And he doesn't want to have that conversation that will go endlessly for 2 hours while they're hungry. So Jake looked on his phone, Jake decided on pizza and he had her agree. So Jake looked at his phone and goes on Google and types in pizza restaurants near me. And this is the results that he gets. Now, Jake is not happy with the results. So he will click down the bottom where it says more places. And he gets the following results. Now he gets all the results and he looks at it and he's like, I've never tried Serial Griller Speedway Boulevard. That's going to be 3 down on the left-hand side of your screen. When he clicks on it, he gets the Google My Business page. And this is the information that's based upon the business that's submitted to Google. If you haven't updated your Google My Business page with all your current information and all your hours and all your specials, you're losing a bunch of money. Do that right after the webinar, not during, after. From here, Jake will scroll down. He will look and he will say, okay, they're open for takeout. They close at 9 p.m. There's their phone number. They see hours or services may differ because of COVID-19. That's on everything. And let's say it's about 6 o'clock, or no, 7 o'clock in this case. And he's like, oh, okay, well, and usually a little busy. Okay, well, okay. Oh, okay. We may have a delay in our order, but we're going to get it anyway. So then he'll scroll down and he will see all the reviews. And he'll look and see they have a 4.5 review. And the last review they got was like 2 months ago. And they said, great place, food is usually good with the burger, but try it. And he didn't want to read anymore because he's like, I've seen enough. Now he's gonna go and do a basically a Google search on Serial Griller Speedway. And here's the results that he gets. And he's noticing the rating is 4.8, 4.5, 4. So he's got an idea that this is probably about a 4.5. From here, they'll most likely go to their website, Facebook, and Yelp until they make the final decision. Once they believe that this is the right choice, then there will be the conversation of, will they keep us safe? And that is what you have to be able to convey to your customers or clients, or in this case, your guests, that you recognize what's going on and you're being sensitive to the needs of your customer. Now, when you go to the website, you will see this, and it says, we're still open, and has information about what they're doing during the COVID-19 pandemic and the stay-at-home order. Notice that they did not mention either one of those, and instead said, hey, we're still open and thank you for your support and understanding. I am sure that when things reopen, they will be putting a message in that same spot talking about what they're doing differently once the restaurant opens. Most important piece to all of this, though, is putting your message on your website as well as your social media platforms. Email your folks, send postcards, whatever it is. It will be super important in your communication with your customers to communicate with your customers. And the more that you communicate your process and the changes that you're making and what exactly you're doing to keep them safe, the more likely they are to trust you and trust that you're going to put their health and wellness to their highest priority. Now, I want to go a little side point here when we come and when we talk about relationships with your customers. Especially now, one of the things and philosophies that I was taught is learning how to be what is called the super servant. Because once you have their attention, then what? You engage with them at a level that they know that you are committed to them. You roll out your best products and your services. You're going to shoulder all of the risk at first to put your customer's mind at ease. And you're going to offer them either a free consultation or a sample of your product. And if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good fit, you shake their hands and you wish them well. And then you also offer unparalleled quality, service, and dedication. You're going to shoulder all the risk at first to put your customer's mind at ease, as I said. And most importantly, you're going to show that you're going to take care of that immediate need immediately. And you're going to meet that need no matter what. This will allow them to trust you as being more than capable of meeting their needs in the long run, whatever they may be. And you demonstrate such a high level of customer service and dedication that you have a customer for life. One of our customers who came in the door wanted to start a caregiving business. And I told him, I will refuse to work with you until you tell me why you want to do it. In which case he then told me his story of why he wanted to do it. And his why was because of the fact that when his mother was very ill He didn't have time to take care of her, and the state took her away, basically, and ordered that sell the house, put her in an assisted living home where she died. And he wanted to make sure that no one else felt that pain. It was a very tear-jerking moment for all of us in the room. And when he told me this, I said, great, I can work with you now because you got your why. And because of that why is when we rolled out our best services. He now has a business up and running in less than 2 months. He is the happiest he's ever been doing what he loves to do. And we didn't charge him a thing to get his business up and running. We shouldered all of that. We demonstrated like unparalleled quality, customer service, and dedication to him. And in return, what he said in a recent meeting was that he would actually, if he could and if he really needed to, he'd be more than happy to get the Octavia logo tattooed on his heart. And he understands and invested in what Octavia is doing. This is what we call an Octavia believer here. How do your customers see you? The goal is to assure them that they can trust you to meet their needs, that their need is your need and is just as important to you as it is to them. You're going to predict and meet their need before they're even aware of that need. And you're never going to stop meeting their needs and expectations, even after they sign a contract and after 2 years. One of the greatest story about predicting and meeting a need is actually, I was at a training and one of my friends was being the assistant to the leader, is basically her position. And she was sitting there and she prepared his meal, the leader's meal, the person who's running the training's meal. And she was sitting there for a half an hour rearranging the forks and spoons and plates. And it was driving me crazy. So finally I asked her, what are you doing? And she's like, well, actually what I'm doing is I'm predicting how he's going to eat his meal. I'm predicting where I should put the fork, the spoon, the knife, the salad, and the main entree. So that way, he just sits down and starts eating and it's mindless. Totally mindless. He doesn't have to worry about where's the fork, where's the spoon, where's the knife, where's this, where's that. He doesn't have to rearrange anything. He can just sit there and enjoy his meal and prepare for his next 2-hour lecture. That is what I mean by predicting. Knowing your customer so well that you can predict what's going to happen next. Any questions? Okay. Now, let's talk about your team. In order to create a brand new team, you have to understand that your team is the life source of your work. And in order to really re-engage them, you have to make sure that they feel heard, valued, and most importantly, understood. As well as important. When I say what's missing, when you should be assessing your business as well as your employees and your team, you want to explore what's missing, what's working and what's not working. And what I mean by the words of what's missing, I don't mean what's wrong. There's nothing to be fixed. What I mean is what is missing that if it was there, would take it to that next level where your great grandmother's apple pie, where she gives you a little taste of that apple pie and it tastes so good. But however, she goes in the cabinet and just sprinkles something else in it and mixes it all up and you taste it and you're just in heaven for days. That's what I'm talking about. Once you're able to reassess your business based upon your customers' needs, then you are reassessing your team and how they can help those customers' needs. And what I mean down below where I says nothing to fix is what I mean, that there's actually nothing to fix, more just about enhancing. So where you start is by reconnecting with your team and having a very authentic meeting with them. You're going to tell them the state of the business. You're going to tell them what's going on in the business. And then you ask them their opinion, what they believe will make the business work even better. And then you shut up and you listen to them and allow them to give you feedback on what they believe is missing for the business. Because this will be the new expectation going forward. When we were rocked by COVID-19, we had weekly meetings. And the weekly meeting that we had was so that way, I can check on my team and make sure my people were healthy and make sure my people were doing okay. And if they needed anything, to remind them they have a team of 20. They have a family already built in. So that way they can get the support that they need, no matter where they were. We also then went in and talked about, okay, what ideas can we put in place right now to survive the COVID-19 pandemic? And not survive, but thrive. And I told them the crazier the idea, the better. Remember this, you hired these people for a reason. Now you don't have to meet them in person. I recommend that you do a Google Meet over a Zoom or whatever it is that's virtual, but you do it at the same time and same day every week so that way you can communicate with your team, know what's going on in their world, and so that way they know what's going on in the business as well as yours. Yes, Steve.
So the second bullet at the end where it says, what is missing in the company? Your goal by communicating with your employees and being inclusive and including them in the decisions and making them part of the company, your goal is what's missing in the company is to make your employees in their mind change the word the to either my company or our company. You really want your employees to think of your company as our company, not the company or the owner's company, but our.
Perfect. And with that, actually, thank you for the segue, Steve. He's like the king of our segues here. And with that, it's going to be time to check in with your team. This is a great idea to check in. This time is a great time to check in with a one-on-one to see what's going on in the world of your team. And also to see what may have changed about them. Pandemics like this change people, and you want to know where they are. And these questions that are here, right here on the screen, are probably the most powerful 4 questions that you can ask to gauge your people. And once you listen, and I mean listen to really listen, you're able to really take this in, they will never leave you. If they tell you what they love doing is filing and they don't want to ever talk to another person again, then you move them to a position where they're filing and never talk to anyone again. If they tell you that they hate filing and love to talk to people, then you adjust their position accordingly. You take notes on how they like to be praised and notes on how they like to be rewarded. Maybe they like a specific gift card or like gummy bears. There's one time where to reward somebody, they love Dr. Pepper, so I bought him 4 cases of Dr. Pepper. The dude wouldn't shut up about it for like 2 weeks. Actually, no, 2 months. He loved it. He thought it was the best gift ever. That's because I rewarded him the way that he liked to be rewarded. You ask in a very, very curious manner to see what makes them feel heard and validated. And this is the importance of having a one-on-one. One of our teammates that we had, or one of my employees that I had, I told him it was time for a one-on-one, and he was very hesitant to have the one-on-one. And finally, when we sat down and had the one-on-one, after an hour-and-a-half conversation, he became my go-to person. And he even messaged me. He said, thank you so much for this opportunity. I feel so close to not just you, but the company, and I am dedicated. Whatever you need, I got you. And literally, anytime I had a problem or anything that was needed and I was stressed out about it, I would give it to Thomas and he would take care of it in a heartbeat. Yes, Steve.
There's never been a wage and hour survey that I'm aware of where money was ranked higher than recognition. Recognition is almost always ranked number 1. And when Andre gave that guy the Dr. Pepper, Andre could have walked up and handed him a $20 bill and said, thanks for what you did. But instead, he got the Dr. Pepper. He said, I know you. I know what you like. I know what you care about. I know you as a person. The $20 bill is kind of cold. The Dr. Pepper wasn't. That was a brilliant move.
Thank you. So it's super, super important to create something together with your team and allow them to contribute to you and your business. Right now, people are going through many, many different headspaces and many different spaces and want to make sure that their skills and knowledge is being seen and recognized. Most importantly, they want to make sure that they are heard and feel safe and secure to work for you. The same rules apply to your contractors as well as your subcontractors. Making them feel heard is super important. Making them all feel safe is also super important. Over here at Octavia, we shut down for a little bit. At least we didn't come to the office for a little. Until finally, Eileen, my assistant, and I sat down and figured out, okay, we need to get back in because there's a lot of things that we need to do. And then most importantly, we have a lot of cleaning to do. So what can we do? What do we need to do in order for all of us to feel safe? And we've implemented and we have just done it. We always clean the office. We clean the office before in the mornings, when we leave at night. We have the housekeeper using our medical grade cleaning supply. I mean, we have gone and done everything we could to make sure everyone feels safe. You want to allow your team to contribute and allow them to cheer you on. It's actually a very ironic sense that our customers and our team are our guides as much as we are theirs. The company that's really going to suffer in the brand new world through and outside of COVID-19 is the ones that look down on their team, their employees, subcontractors, and contractors. And the ones that are really going to make magic happen is the one that allows your team to carry them as they carry you, and everyone is working together. And with that, it is time to trim the fat. Before I move on, I have to talk about the reality of what this is. Not everyone is going to want to play again. These people have been around long before COVID-19. Remember what I said, the relationships that you've had, that you've created, have been the same relationship that you have created. And it's the same, still the same relationship right now, prior to COVID-19. A lot of the mistakes, a lot of the things that have been happening has happened before COVID-19. And it did not, COVID-19 did not make that person become a bad employee, contractor, or subcontractor. Consider that the virus had nothing to do with it. And you know who they are. You know the ones that are holding you down and the ones that are really pulling you down, as well as pulling down the morality of the team. This is the time to trim the fat off your company right now. No excuses, because all it does is bring you to a place as you rebuild your business, re-explore and reimagine it. It's going to cause you more problems as you try 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. I want to talk to them one more time. No more talking to them one more time. You've already talked to them one more time a few times ago. There is no more one more time. It's time to go. This is serious. This is about your business. And we're talking about your business. More importantly, this is about the lives of the people who are dedicated and want to work with you. Don't be afraid to trim the fat and begin to re-explore, reimagine the business for what it can and it will be. They will be fine. Any questions? Great. If no questions, I got some tips and tricks for you to make them all stay forever. We're going to first talk about customers. First of all, now this could be done with your past, present, and also your new customers. You want to reward them for your loyalty as often as you can, as much as you can. You want to remember the special dates and special occasions and send them a handwritten note and a gift. People love handwritten notes. I can't tell you and stress to you enough how powerful a handwritten note and getting a letter in the mail is to people still. You want to give them some swag, some merchandise, shirts, hats, and pins. Email them special offer that they can use for a limited time. Surprise them and refer them a customer as well, especially if they're a business owner. And take the time to talk to your customers and get to know them with a quick bonus to take them out for coffee or their favorite restaurant when things reopen. Now, mind you, when I said number one, reward them with their loyalty, you could be a 20% discount. Pass it on. Ask them to write a review. Give them a handwritten note. Really make the customers feel like they're part of the team because they want you to succeed. They want you to succeed as much as everyone else because of the fact who will do what you do for them. Now they got to go back and research who's going to do it for them. So here's some tips to re-engage your past customers. Meet up with them for coffee and take them to their favorite restaurant. Send a personal email letting them know of your new services and ask them to do the same. Learn what services they're offering and send them referrals. Reach out and ask them, how can I help you on your journey right now? And in the same token, as you're talking about it, say, oh, and this is how you can help me in my journey right now. I'm looking for clients that are this, this, and this. Do you know of anyone? Turn that cold lead to a warm lead very quickly. Offer a service for a limited time and ask them to pass it on if they don't need it at the moment. This is another thing. See if who they know. They know, like, and trust you. Who do they know that they will be happy to refer to you? And again, I will stress again, send them a handwritten card. People love that stuff. Last, let's talk about your team. The ultimate goal is to treat everyone as a human being and allow them to live a life that's enjoyable inside and outside of work. In order to do that, the first thing you have to do is have a weekly meeting where your team can connect and reconnect with each other. This can be done using Zoom or Google Meets. However it is that your team needs to meet with each other, so that way they can engage and also empower each other is super important. Schedule your one-on-ones either once a quarter or every 6 months. Remember to tell them it has nothing to do with their job performance. This one-on-one that we're having, this conversation that we're having, has nothing to do with your job performance and everything to do with your life. Give them some awesome swag, merchandise, pins, hats, whatever it is. Hey, you can even get creative. Think outside the box when rewarding your team. First, you got to figure out what they like and then reward them. One of my assistant, Eileen, since I brought her up earlier, we rewarded her with, because I overheard her talking about Bed Bath & Beyond a lot. So to celebrate her 1-year anniversary, we bought her flowers. I got her a card, a handwritten card, and wrote words in it. And then also I got her a gift card to Bed Bath & Beyond. And she cried because I listened, I heard, and she felt valued. Reward them the way they like to be rewarded and make it a surprise. Yeah, by the way, we had to surprise her, and that was actually harder than it was. We had to like put things in places and we had to wait for the right time. We made it into a surprise, and she was greatly surprised. Remember the important dates and special occasions. Make it a big deal. Recently, someone got married and we celebrated his marriage here at the office. We had a couple of our interns graduate from school and we celebrated their graduation. It's important to celebrate them and support their favorite cause. So my daughter is a big dog expert. She loves dogs. She's 16 and she can, when she was volunteering at the age of 8 at one of these no-kill shelters here in town, who would go to PetSmart to, dog adoption basically. They love to see her coming because of the fact that she could sell a dog. I mean, she's cute already, but her and the dog, oh my gosh, people would not say no. She was good. She's a great saleswoman. However, my boss at the time she was quite young, heard about what we were doing. And so what they did is they showed up one day and they bought a dog. And then they donated some money for the cause because it was important to us. Like, that was something that my daughter was excited about. She was so cute. She wrote them a thank you card and drew them a picture. Like, she was floored. I was floored. We felt heard and valued. Now, here's another thing. No competition. Stop it. No sales competitions, no competitions or anything of that nature. It actually breaks the team spirit. It makes it become, it's all about me. No, it's all about we. All of us win. We all win together. That's it. Any questions? Cool. In conclusion, here's the thing. You want to ensure that your most loyal customers, employees, subcontractors, and contractors feel validated, feel part of the new adventure, feel like a valuable part of the brave new business that you're creating. And here's the thing, don't be afraid to take some risks to show your potential customers, your new customers, you're capable and you're more than capable and committed. You want to find out what their immediate needs are, and you're going to meet them. And you don't let up. You give them your best over and over and over again. You put your customer's mind at ease, and you demonstrate that you are indeed the expert. It is important to go back to the basics and the foundation or root of the business to make sure it still holds true with what's going on and when things get rough like they are right now. Use it as a guide. This is your mission, purpose, and ongoing goal. You're going to use this as a guide and have your team read it, learn it, and take it in and take it on from themselves as well. Because their interpretation of it is going to be totally different than the other person's interpretation of it. But as long as they're getting the message, that's what matters. It is important to have everyone on the same page because sometime, and I will say most of the time, we are all not. If your people just show up to work and they start working and there's big meetings coming in, most likely they're not on the same page. They're still thinking about their life. It is important to make sure that you hold up and you put up the mission, purpose, and ongoing goal. And before any really big important meeting, you read those things. So that way it represents everyone back into why you are here in the first place. To represent ourselves back to why we're doing here and what we're doing in the first place is equally as important because it sends that reminder of why I woke up this morning. Why are you here this morning? Make it a goal to have your team know and give them some extra points. Maybe some monetize it if you want to when they memorize it. And lastly, as we move into different spaces of reopening the state or closing the state or reopening the state and closing the state, spoiler alert, I guess, safety will be the greatest concern for any person. Explore many options and allow your team to give their opinion and create something together of how you're going to keep yourself, your customers, and your team safe. Trim the fat where needed. The customers, the contractors, the subcontractors, and employees, and you reward those who have shown the most loyalty. As you rediscover your business, take in consideration that this will be a constant and consistent process that does not end. So communicate with your team and your customers often. And even if we all reopen again tomorrow, understand that nothing will go back to normal. And virtual meetings is still a possibility and something really, really important to remember. You want to enjoy your customers. You want to enjoy your team, your employees, your contractors, your subcontractors. And remember, ultimately, you pick them for a reason. And there's days and times where you don't know why. But it's really, really important that you have to you go in and explore why you did it. What did you see in them? And you want to expose that and grow that. What was it? What brought you the why them? Explore what you saw in them, what you saw in them, and you foster that. And the most important thing in the last slide I said, well, a few slides ago, I said no competition. That's because competition does not allow the space for teamwork makes the dream work. Any last questions? Great. We have a special offer. It's a free digital marketing assessment. It's no strings attached. Promise. It's a 60-minute digital marketing strategy evaluation where we'll take a look at what you have right now, what's going on online, as well as your overall state of your business. And we'll give you tips and tricks of how you can increase your visibility. I truly want to thank you for your time and your efforts. Thank you so much for allowing me. You gave me your time very generously. And I also want to thank Robert from the Arizona Commerce Authority, as well as Steve, my color commentary. As always, throw it in the color commentary points from SCORE Mentors. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Andre and Steve, for this great presentation. Talking about teams, I can think back to some awesome supervisors I've worked for that did many of those same things you were talking about, and it does make it a more enjoyable place to work. And I've tried to learn to do the same things with my teams. So great information, much appreciated. Thank you all for attending today's session. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Just a reminder that we have a Monday special session. So Monday, 9 a.m., a PPP session. And then back on Tuesday with the ABCs of starting your business. Please join in for that on Tuesday morning as well. You can find that information to register for both those sessions on our website. I posted the link to the website in the chat box, so you can go there and register for those. And so I'll leave that chat box open for a bit. But well, again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe, and we will see you on Monday. Thanks.